Okay, we are now on day 3, and we're going to be doing a little bit more with the song. I've actually done a little bit of work on it today, so I figured I should probably catch you up to speed with what I have going on with this. And let's hold on one second. I just clicked off of my other screen here. So I did a lot of the vocals today, and I want to go through and actually just play a little bit of it. It's not ready yet for full digestion, so to speak. But I'll go through each of the sections here so you can see a little bit of what we have with the vocals. I'll explain a little bit of the effects and things. They're not mixed at all. I'm trying not to do, well, I did a little bit. I'm trying not to do very much mixing until I can be on a live stream so you can see it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Here we are against the ropes. It's getting hard. Of course they know. Look across that empty field. So you can hear it's a little soft still. I have not gone through and done any editing on these yet. I have a number of different takes that I'll be editing through. And then I'll do a pass of some pitch correction. But it starts off with that, and then it actually doubles up the second half of the first verse. Hold my hand, it's all I got. Push on through, it's not allowed. And then we go into the chorus section. They say, get in line. Believe what we believe, see what we are seeing. They say that difference is good. I'm excited to actually do some mixing on this because I think it's pretty rough right now. But the chorus actually is 2 sections that repeat the same words, but the music changes drastically as we looked at last night. They say, get in line. Believe what we believe, see what we are seeing. Please. And then we have another verse. This one doesn't start with just the single voice, but it has the 3 parts. And then right now the second chorus is really just copied and pasted from the first one. In terms of what I've done on these tracks, I have the same, I guess, channel strip settings that I showed in the last live stream, where I do some of the pitch auto-tune. Channel EQ, I've actually pulled that even further, and then my compression settings are pretty drastic actually, but we'll be adapting a lot of that as we actually do the real mix. The main vocals a little bit to the left, the secondary ones a little to the right, and then this third one, which actually sounds pretty affected. Let me just solo that out for a second. Hold my hand. That's not an EQ effect or anything. In fact, this microphone, which I use when I'm singing like this, that's just from cupping the microphone as I'm singing, and so it's like a physical effect rather than an actual processor effect later on. And so that's how that one sounds really stylized, and I can't really change it back at this point since it's actually just the hand being held around it. Okay, so so that one there is actually being panned towards the rear using the binaural panner. Just to give it a completely different space. So issues that I'm seeing already with this, we have a lot of buildup in the mid-low frequencies, which we're going to need to actually deal with when we start mixing. I mean, it's not horribly far off, but it definitely needs a lot of work to clean everything up in terms of the frequency content. Once I do that, then the vocals are going to start to come through without necessarily just turning them up. So mixing, I think we're doing a lot of that tomorrow. What we want to do tonight is focus a little bit on the bridge, which we haven't done anything with. And then a lot of this other stuff here, all of that. Let me just do this real quick. Select it all, option click. A lot of that's just going to go over, and it's going to ask if I want to copy the automation data. I'm going to say yes. So it's just this little in-between section, which I still haven't decided if I want it to be this length or twice as long. Probably I'll work a little bit on just getting the chord structures tonight, and then at some point when I do the actual words and lyrics for that, I'll determine if that's the right length or if it needs to change a little bit. Okay, so the other thing I will say about the words or the vocals, I do write as I'm performing, and I use the whole notepad over here to type it out. So I'll type it as I'm going and change things. So instead of having a separate place, I like to put that right there in the notepad. And I think this will be interesting too. I have done some automation, just some basic, dropping in some points, really rough. I didn't go really fine tune. Sometimes they start going down too soon or don't come up fast enough. That, again, I didn't want to do too much mixing ahead of time, but I needed to know if some of those parts were going to work, and so I needed them to be at the right level. So that's the only automation I've done so far. And I just click the A on the keyboard to get to automation mode, back and forth. Okay, so then the bridge, and we come off this section. I'm going to mute the vocals for now so they're not a distraction, but we're coming off the second half of the chorus, which I'm going to listen to right now, and I got to figure out if I want it to build even further or if I want to strip it down and do something that's more bare bones, like a reprieve in a way. So let's adjust the drums now. And with the drums, I think I am going to go more stripped back. I don't know. I think I am. But I don't like the cymbals being the main focus of the drummer. I want to go down to maybe the toms or even the hi-hat. Let's set up our loop point here so I can just hear that section. I've done this thing where I cut back and do hand claps in it in other songs. I think I'm going to do that with just the one for now. So the kick, the snare, the brush sweep, and then a hand clap that happens like once a bar. Yeah. I think we'll do that. And then I go into the bass and I have to decide, actually the chorus bass. I never drug this one down, or this one, because it was too distorted on the other one. So I think maybe... something that ties in with the other parts, but let's see. Yeah, and that delay, the latency with the live stream is just enough where I can almost play it, but I hate that there's latency at all. I need to do this a different way in future series, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. Oh man, that is like brutal having to do that with the latency. Let's see if it even makes sense. And it does not. Okay, cool. So, just not played well enough. There's multiples. Okay. And I think I'm going to put a MIDI effect on here with note repeater, and we'll have it fade out a little bit. But because I don't want this to happen for all of the tracks, I am going to just automate this one so that it comes and goes just for this one section. So the note repeater, well, what we should do is MIDI insert bypass. Let's see, so we'll hit that right at the beginning of this. I may have to zoom in. I can't tell if that's actually in the right place. And it's not. Okay, cool. So let's hit that right there. Oh, and I did it backwards. Of course I did. Let's see, undo, 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 undo. So it should be bypass all the time, except right here at this section. And then we'll bypass it afterwards. Funky note happening with the bass, but I'm going to fix it later. Let's just get this other keyboard part. Okay, so just a little part of that in there. And then I do like the idea of having one of these other things that ties it all kind of together. And I hated everything about that, so we're going to delete it and do it again. A little bit better. I still don't. I think I'm just gonna have to get rid of that note. It's still ringing weird. I think it's because I think it's the wrong one I got rid of. It's this one that is conflicting with the next one. So let's do that and see if the octave placement fixes that. And it doesn't. So we're just going to get rid of that one or change the amount of delay. And B1. Oh, I hit the wrong note. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the bridge is going to have to be twice as long as that, but I'm not positive. I just don't know if it's going to have time to really develop. So let's listen just one time, verse, chorus, into the bridge and see if it has the right impact or if it's really lackluster. And, for all of you who are actually out there watching, in the comments, tell me if you think it works or not.
That are different than them. They say, get in line, believe what we believe, see what we are seeing. They say that different is good, but cancel those that are different than them.
So I guess it really depends on the vocals at that point. They're going to have to carry this across from the one chorus to the next chorus. And I feel like the last chorus is going to be different than the other ones. I feel like I'm going to do this, which is mute the two top and just do that really distorted megaphone style vocal.
Believe what we believe, see what we are seeing. They say that different is good, but cancel those that are different than them. They say get in line.
Except maybe there, I think we do have the potential for making this one then Let's hear that part.
They say, get in line. Believe what we believe. See what we are seeing. They say that different is good. But cancel those that are different than that.
Okay, so I think that it could work then inside the actual bridge. I don't know if I want to add any other colors. I was messing around trying to pick another one of these Reason instruments. This one's called Friction, and it is, well, it's like a modeled string instrument, kind of like sculpture in Logic. But they're saying it could be like a replacement for stringed instruments, and I'm gonna keep a straight face for this, not joke around too much. But it sucks pretty bad in terms of mimicking a real stringed instrument. Let's turn down the velocity amount. Man, that attack, so weird. I mean, but it's just not, it doesn't sound like what I was hoping it would be, so I'm going to delete the device in general, and not use that one, because I feel like for this it could be good for something else, but just not for this necessarily. But they've got a great world instrument thing that we could potentially use. So right now, what you're now about to witness is me testing out some patches just to see if any of things would work. And I'm looking for just anything that kind of catches my ear. I mean, this may be all too natural sounding. Okay, let's get rid of this one and do something different. Instruments. And they're actually, there's a new Reason instrument coming out tomorrow, apparently, on the 25th of February. And it's Algorithm or something. It's a name. It's maybe just Algorithm, but could be something else. And it looks like from their simple marketing that they've done, it looks like it could be like a DX7 FM synthesizer. And man, I went on Facebook because I was like just looking to see what was the rumors were about it and stuff. And I did not find any interest from the Facebook Reason users, at least that I saw on the Reason page, about the new instrument. All they wanted to do was moan about the new subscription model of Reason Plus, and hate on it. Now, it's Facebook. I don't actually spend a lot of time on Facebook because it's toxic. But it felt like it was like the Ableton group had decided to go over and hose the Reason group and just really hate. Now, I get it that something like a subscription model for this whole set is probably tastes bad to some users who, want to spend one little bit of money or, illegally download Reason and then not have access to all the cool stuff because they just want to get something for free. But man, the toxic comments about, not wanting to pay money or and invest in this thing when Reason Propellerhead is like dumping a ton of new content every week. I think it's just really interesting reaction clearly people who, at least in that small response, didn't really understand how this all works. But man, this, I do like the Europa patch. Okay, we're gonna stick with that one for 1 second. Let's change the name so I remember what I'm doing. Europa. Save. Every once in a while I like to save my progress. And let's do not a chord changer. I want to do the arpeggiator here and switch it to grid mode. And sometimes you see me drawing things in, and literally I'm just randomizing a pattern. Okay, cool. So now I don't want to actually, if I don't have to play that, I'm not going to. But I have a bass part that already, don't copy. And it's in the bass range, so I'm going to come through and do the same thing I did one of the earlier nights where I transposed it up 2 octaves. And I'm going to expand out some of these notes so that and on top of that, because I could either do this in the arpeggiator by changing the octaves, but I could also, let's see, the root note here is that A, so I'm going to do up to the C and just add the third. Except I hate that, so let's go just another double octave. But then I'm going to pull the whole thing down just 1 octave down, so it's a little lower. I hate that so much. Okay. This is what it's about, though. It's like I try something out, and then I'm like, you know what? I really don't like how that sounds. Let's try this one here. Okay, we'll try that. I see some comments coming in. Yes, I actually think I'm gonna switch that to 8th notes as suggested. I think that's partly, or even 16th. Let's try 16th and then I'll try the 8th. like that a lot better. So maybe not going to the 8th, but I like it going to the 16th. And then I think what I need here is some chroma verb, obviously. And let's do the synth hall. And because I'm putting chroma verb on the actual instrument, it becomes part of the instrument rather than like a reverb I'm going to use throughout the song. But it means I can come through and then like over compress the heck out of this thing. That way I can get some interesting tail action happening with the tail of the sound coming up. So turn up the release time a little bit, turn the threshold down into there, definitely compress it. We'll be able to adjust it in a second. Here we go. And so we get kind of that more interesting sound happening as it squashes the reverb. I love everything through step effects. So I see coffee smokers talking about that. Yeah, just reading comments. Cool. The last thing I want to do tonight before we pull the plug, because I think I'm not actually going to be doing an intro in this song. I had started off thinking I would, but I think I'm going to skip it for now because I just like how it cuts right into it. If anything, like a 2-beat fill or something, da-da-da, and then it'll come in. So tomorrow I need to do the lyrics and the vocals for the bridge, and then we're going to start mixing. But one other sound choice I wanted to make up front here is, let's see, new track with duplicate settings. Okay. So I wanted to do one more thing with Reason tonight. Turn off that. Okay, so I've got the drummer part now. Same drummer track as the top one. I just duplicated it. But I want to come in and use the Reason rack instrument, because they've got some interesting drummers in here, and maybe just to try a different thing with this. So we have the Reason drum kits. We have a few different ones. I don't want a big room though. If anything, more of like the indie sound. So this is loaded up. And then the drummer track of Logic can now trigger the Reason drums. Let's just hit this from the beginning for a minute without vocals. of potential here, but of course I was doing a lot to those original drums. I think I'm gonna have to mess with that off the stream just to kind of get that. But I like the sound of those other or any other drums. It's a nice switch up and it's a nice way to use the drummer track. But for now, I think I've got to leave the ones I already had just because they're in the right place while I'm doing the vocals for the bridge. And then I think I'll mess with them a little bit more.
Walk the line to hate. They say get in line.
And I'm really excited to actually edit those vocals so that they're in tune, in time. And I'll actually do some of that. And maybe I should make that the live stream tomorrow night, where I show you the bridge that we have. And then we do a pass at the vocals, just showing you some of the techniques where we can time align things better and also pitch align things and get them working a lot tighter. Because right now, the bones are good, but I think it's a kind of a mess overall. Cool. So I think that's where we'll end the stream today. Thanks everybody for coming on. It's a small group tonight, and I think small groups are the best groups. So thanks for being here and for coming back a few nights in a row. And we have 2 more nights to go, and then we're on to a different series of something or other on my channel. So thanks a lot for being here.